change the battery then, so sorry if the cut looked weird then. But yes, let's talk about the comic.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Volume 2.
Of, the Scott Pilgrim saga.
Yes. So I guess we should probably say recap what happened.
That's a word in the English language, yes.
Yeah, basically, Scott Pilgrim has his second fight with Lucas Lee. I've just read this.
Lucas Lee, that's right.
Is it?
Yes, not Luke Wilson.
Not Luke Wilson. So yes.
That's an in-joke for those who haven't read this yet.
So yes, he has a fight with Lucas Lee, the second boyfriend, who was an actor, and he breaks up with Knives in this one, doesn't he?
This is the volume where he breaks up with Knives.
Yeah, what happens in this, actually.
Yeah, very quickly, do you want to kind of like recap what happened in the first volume in a couple of sentences, just so that we know where we are?
Okay, Scott Pilgrim was going out with a 16-year-old girl, falls in love with Ramona, or really likes a girl called Ramona, starts dating Ramona, then breaks up with Knives, and he fights Ramona's first ex. Evil ex.
Yes, first evil ex.
Then in this...
Matthew Patel.
Oh, sorry, no. He breaks up with him in the second volume, sorry. So
yes.
By the end of the first volume, they're both still dating.
I've just read this book and my head hurts now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So a lot happens in this one. He continues dating Ramona and then breaks up with Knives because he was given an ultimatum by his housemate that it was either you break up with Knives or one of them, or he tells the other. So he breaks up with Knives. Knives is heartbroken, can't get over it, and is constantly trying to win him back. Scott Pilgrim fights the second evil ex, which was Lucas Lee, and he also gets offered to be a support act for a super duper famous band, which is called something.
Clash at Demon Head.
And it just so happens that the lead singer is his ex who broke his heart.
Envy Adams.
And then her new boyfriend, who is the bass guitarist, Todd, just so happens to be Ramona's ex too. Therefore,
the third of Ramona's evil exes
has come into the story.
Yes, so you get to meet two of the evil exes in one volume.
Action-packed.
Isn't it just? Okay, well, what I find interesting in this volume, especially when you compare it to the Scott Pilgrim movie, is this time you get kind of like a backstory and an origin story in terms of kind of like Scott Pilgrim's teen years, I guess, or when he was in high school. So you get to see him when he actually dated Kim, who was the other band member.
They didn't at the beginning. They have this flashback showing him getting a new girlfriend and a new female friend. Does it point out that that's Kim, or do you just see him dating this girl and you don't know it's Kim yet?
Yeah, I got that it was Kim.
I didn't. Not yet.
So as far as story arcs go, you actually get to see a younger Scott Pilgrim, where you actually see a kind of more reckless and irresponsible person when it comes to dating, because obviously there's the other girl that kind of like had a crush on him right at the beginning as well.
Do we know who that girl is?
Was it Lisa? I think it's just a girl in high school. I don't recall her name now.
I don't think it shows that he's reckless. I just think he's oblivious. He just doesn't empathise with anyone. He doesn't really care that he breaks up with Knives. He doesn't really care that he breaks a heart. He didn't really care about his female best friend in school. He doesn't really care about anything. Actually, I was about to say, there is a scene though where he's sitting there and he's very sad that he just broke up with Knives. And then he envisions Ramona and he starts smiling. And I'm like, that's really cute.
Yeah, but it's very out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on.
He's just instantly over Knives like that. You know, doesn't feel bad anymore, doesn't feel guilty anymore, and that's it. What I'm trying to say, as character development goes, there isn't much progression with Scott. I think he's funnier. Like, he just keeps getting funny, but it's because he's just still an arsehole. There's no redeeming quality to this man yet. And to the point where he's like, he's with Ramona, doesn't care about Knives, and then envy rings him up, and it completely and utterly disables him. And I'm like, if you're still so hung up on her, you shouldn't be dating other people. Bad man.
Yes. It's like, but you know, it's like when you have that person who you know that if you ever accidentally caught with them, whether you've moved on or not, it's kind of like, you know, straight in there with kind of like the feels. And you don't want the feels, and you know, but she was an important person in your life. So, I don't know, I can defend his actions in having a relationship, even though, I mean, first volume, everyone is saying to him, you should move on by now. You should move on by now. And he kind of is.
To be fair, I actually do think that maybe sometimes things in comics don't happen, or films, because it's a realistic reaction. I think it's more to highlight to us, the audience, how fucked over he was with her, that one phone call can floor him.
Yeah.
So I actually disagree with myself. And I think it shows that he did have a heart once.
Yeah.
It's just broken.
And there is something as well about the fact that he dated Knives. And Knives was his segue into getting back into dating. And there is an argument to be made that he was never meant to be with Knives, and it wasn't a full relationship. I mean, they never kissed. They held hands once, kind of thing, but they weren't a relationship for him. But with Ramona, this is that moment, you know, when he saw her, and kind of like this is that moment that brought him back into that, and he knew, you know what, I am ready for a relationship, and that's the person I want to have the relationship with.
Okay. I don't know.
Sorry if that wounds you.
I know it doesn't. I just, you know, I kind of agree with you. When I said it, I kind of went, actually, no, I don't agree with that. Maybe in reality, if you reacted like that.
But this is deep, you know? This is Scott Pilgrim we're talking about. This is like, I don't know, it's like just a bunch of sketchy lines on a page. And
what was your favourite thing about the book? In this volume?
In this volume, it's the conversations in this one just felt so much more richer. You know, there was because obviously the first one you had the climactic battle, and which was like amazing, and then you go into this and you know now anything can happen, even to the point where kind of like, you know, after beating Lucas Lee, he finds a prize of a skateboard, but unfortunately he didn't select skateboarding as a proficiency in high school, which I thought was a really, really cute idea.
Yeah.
But it's the conversations that make it amusing and entertaining. Just little subtle lines about, you know, the reason that Scott's sister couldn't get hold of Scott because the phone was engaged, and the reason the phone was engaged is because Scott was trying to get cheat codes for Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Or when he's shouting out to his roommate, if bad was a boot, you'd fit it.
Well, that's an amazing bit.
You're a stupid poo-poo head. I had sexual relations with your mother.
It wasn't that good. I mean, the particular conversation that you're referring to there is when Wallace, his housemate, has left the bus, and the bus is driving off into the distance, so the panels are getting smaller and smaller to the point where you have to like really look to see what he's shouting out the bus window.
It's really funny.
And it's so rewarding when you read.
It's funny because it's the type of things I'd shout at someone, and I was on the train and I just burst out laughing when I'm Scott Pilgrim.
But no, it's the conversations in this one which are amazing. Again, when you're comparing it with the movie, the Scott Pilgrim movie, Lucas Lee was a completely different character that Chris Evans portrayed. You know, he was a much more arsey git of a character, and a bit smug and
yeah,
Hollywood.
In this one, he was still a bit of an arse, but he was more like halfway through the fight, he was like, do you want a break?
It wasn't even a fight. He threw him up the building, which is exactly what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
But then they sat down and had a conversation about Ramona and why she broke up with him, why she broke up with Lucas. And this is where Scott realizes, oh, she broke up with you. I didn't even think that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which again might be an interesting thing. Maybe Scott believes that guys do the breaking up. Well, when you look at
No, I think that made it more shocking, because then I think if you're going to go on a deep level, he was more scared that she'd break up with him.
Yeah.
If Ramona can break up with someone, why is she with him?
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's wrong.
Maybe.
What's your worst part about the book in this volume? I know what mine is.
Oh, okay. Go on.
I actually. This is one of the few things I said I want to mention in this book club. Basically, the worst thing for me, and I feel awful saying this, is the art for me in this volume.
Yes, there's a couple of panels where, again, I agree.
I really struggled a lot of times keeping track which character was which, because it is in black and white. Because in the first volume, I was like, it doesn't need to be in black and white. I think I really liked it. I don't agree anymore. I think it's a book that does need to be in colour. And there was a lot of reasons where, like, Scott looks like Ramona in some panels, and Ramona looks like Kim, and now Knives looks like everyone, because all the girls have short hair and all the boys have long shaggy hair.
Yeah.
And they all look very similar.
And frustratingly, this is the book where they keep on having their hair cut.
Yeah.
Because even Scott is like, you've had your hair cut. And it's like, oh, is that still Stephen Stills? I thought that was a different guy.
Literally, if they didn't keep doing the name panel thing,
yeah.
I would be.
Do you reckon
more
that was an
lost.
afterthought? It was like, who?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in some cases, I even think there's inconsistency when it comes to kind of like how some of the characters are drawn. Like Scott will look completely different in the next panel, either deliberately or because Brian Lee O'Malley, if he's the illustrator as well.
Yeah.
Couldn't consistently draw Scott Pilgrim the same at that point. There's quite a few times his eyes turn into anime eyes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's intentional or not.
In this volume, yeah, it's not. It's the most distracting part of the book for me in this volume.
I agree. I just totally agree. One of the things as well.
I'm right.
Yes, you are right. You are right.
What do I get?
The satisfaction. I got nothing else.
The satisfaction.
The satisfaction.
Not even of being right. Just you get the satisfaction.
Yes, you get the satisfaction.
I'll take it.
Whilst I do love the conversations, I felt this was very conversation heavy. Like they're like 4, 5, 6 double page spreads in a row where it's just a conversation on the phone, and it's good and you're with it all the way, but it sometimes kind of feels a bit boring because then you leave that conversation and then you go and have another conversation, and it's just a collection of conversations, and you don't have that battle in the end. You don't have that moment at the end. You're just dying to say something.
No, I agree with what you're saying, and I want to add to it, and I'm very impatient.
Go on and say it.
Oh, I want to say, like, I completely agree with you. It was very text heavy and conversation heavy. And there was 1 or 2 things that I didn't like as well about this book, and I didn't notice I did it in the first one. I constantly, and I did this about 10, 15 times, checked I hadn't missed a page.
Yes.
Because they'd be doing one thing, and it'd just be the next scene on the next page, but with no day later or hours later. There was no definitive transition in time. Was that?
Yeah. That's...
And it was just literally next page. It was a different scene. They were talking about a different thing. There were a lot of snappy short scenes in this, which there are in the first one, but they were very clear. They made sense to me. This one, I constantly have to go, have I missed a page? Are they stuck together? Because it almost didn't make sense. It was that jumpy.
Yeah, no, totally.
But I do actually like the fact that this book is jumpy, and I like this one more so in the first one. This one is literally like, here's a cut in conversation, they're on the bus. The next one, they're making bread. The next one, they're singing a song. The next one, they've gone shopping. And like, each page is almost its own scene, and I do like that because I have a short attention span because I'm a child. But just every now and again, it wasn't clear enough.
No.
There were negatives to it, but overall the style was a positive, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Knives and Ramona have a fight in this one.
Very dramatic.
Yeah, and that was very surreal because they're just fighting in a library, and Ramona grabs a piece of art, and like Scott Pilgrim's sister is almost like the narrator in this. She just keeps going, you can't destroy art like that, and they ignore her. And then they're like, she goes, get a lift up, and she goes, no, I'll walk, and she runs up a wall. Like, they make surreal moments look so real, like that's the norm, like why question it? And then they have a fight, and then she's like, no offense, but we should go. You can't destroy art. And it's like, it's not that she's shocked. She's not even questioning where did knives come from, why are they having a big battle. She's just like, you can't destroy art. That's offensive, that's graffiti. Like, have a fight if you want, but I loved it, it was great.
But this is what's very, very interesting about that, is that's the conclusive scene almost in the movie.
Yeah, because I didn't remember this happening so early, because Knives finds out she's going out with Ramona. That was almost scene for scene, panel for panel. She goes to dye her hair, she goes to compete. And then she goes to fight Ramona. Now, in the film, she goes, he did cheat on me, and that's how he gets over.
Yeah.
That's how she gets over Scott. In this one, she goes, so he did cheat on me, and I'm a Scottaholic. And she actually uses that word.
Time to chow down.
Yeah, so like, I don't think she says that.
She does.
And so I'm like, oh, this almost like spurs her love on. It like increases the flame.
Yeah.
So that is the first real thing that's happened differently from the movie.
Yeah, the second book is very much, now you get to see how Edgar Wright took the things that happened in the book and made the film his own.
Yeah.
And in some cases better, because I do think Lucas Lee is better played by Chris Evans.
He plays an amazing arsehole.
Yes, definitely.
I actually think that's kind of it for a second volume.
I think that's said everything that we can say. I mean,
are we wrong?
There are a few, well, to be fair, there are a few micro moments, and again, this would be a huge video if we went into individual conversations and individual panels and stuff like that, because there are so many little moments you can take with this. Okay, I want to say this one thing.
Which is why I said your favourite moment.
Okay, yes, alright, okay.
No, go on, you
as we're talking, something came back to me. I loved the fourth wall breaking in every single time a character says, no, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You know I'm about to say it.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're not. You're not. And that's what hurts more. You're laughing because you know you did it.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I want to go back.
I didn't get to a save point.
Do you want to start again?
No.
Do you want to do it again?
Okay.
Yeah. So just quickly to clarify.
No, you taking it from me. You can have that. You can have that first edit. It's all right. But I'm glad you agree with me. I love that fourth wall breaking.
At first, I almost double taked on it. I was like, is that meant to be what I think it is? Like breaking the fourth wall?
Yeah.
And then another time they say it, I'm like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Just because in real life, they would have explained something.
Yeah.
But it's something we already know, so they've just gone, just read the book. And I'm like, that's genius. Say for something that's already text heavy, they've saved text. It's good.
It's fantastic. I thought it was a brilliant way of doing it. And so yeah, so that's our review, I guess.
Yeah.
I still strongly.
Book club.
Yeah, book club.
You always say review.
Okay, that was our book club review. is it not a review? Okay.
Well, no, it kind of is, but it's like a book club.
Okay.
Because
that concludes our book club.
Because we ask people to join in.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. In that case, we should do that more.
Join in.
Join in. Yeah. Yeah.
We get
Let us know what you think. You know, send videos. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing some videos. They should do like reaction videos.
Yeah.
Do
that's
reaction
amazing.
videos. You superimpose your face around here somewhere, and then
No, there.
okay, right there.
Yeah.
Superimpose
I love it because I'm
your
always
face
trying to block out your
and
face.
your opinion right here. And interact with what we're saying if you want.
Good luck trying to find a moment to talk.
Yeah.
Because we never shoulda.
So thank you for listening to our book club. It's been an absolute pleasure. But join us next time for Scott Pilgrim 3. Yes, where you'll get our rundown of that.
Yes.
And again,
Which is hopefully next week.
yes, well, we're going to be more militant about this.
Yes.
I think we should be filming on either Tuesday or
Although
Wednesday.
I am camping next week. So we can...
We'll be a little less militant this week.
No, but it'll be up this week, but I'll be camping this week, so I won't be able to film when we usually film, which is a Tuesday. So I can come around later.
Okay, so that's how militant we're going to be.
In no way does it affect them. It should still be once a week.
Okay, it won't affect you.
It won't affect you guys.
Our post conversation, our post book discussion conversation is longer than the book discussion.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Bye!